Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. I see a lot of familiar faces on the webinar, so welcome back, and it's nice to see you again. For everyone joining us for the first time, I want to say thank you for joining us today and welcome yourself. I know you're excited for part 2 of this webinar series, so I'll go over my housekeeping notes pretty quickly so we can jump right in. Sound good? All right. I'm Chad Collette. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Ledu Partners. We're a business and technology consulting company who partners with organizations to transform their sales, marketing, and customer service operations and processes that are supported by core technologies, including CRM solutions like Microsoft Dynamics 365, of which we are a Microsoft Gold Partner. Now, today's webinar will take around 30 minutes and is being recorded, and it will also be available on demand after the live session. All attendees will receive a follow-up email after the webinar is complete with a link to access the presentation. Now, if you haven't already, make sure to add @ledupartners.com to your safe senders list to ensure that you get our emails. Or if you find our mail in your clutter, your junk, or your spam, please mark us as a safe sender and not spam. Now, we encourage you to share any of our resources within your company and also your professional networks. It's our goal to grow user adoption within these solutions and really help companies achieve the greatest return on investment possible. Now, for today, to ensure the best audio quality, we have everyone on listen-only mode. But if you have a question or a comment, and we do encourage those, please submit those in the question pane of your GoToWebinar control panel. We will follow up with everybody afterwards, as we do have a very full agenda today and want to be respectful of everyone's time. Now that we got those pesky housekeeping items out of the way, I want to welcome today's presenter, Tom Lebaron with Ledu Partners. Now, if you joined us in part 1 of this webinar series, you remember Tom, who's not only a Dynamics enthusiast through and through, but also very passionate about customer service and how tools like Dynamics 365 can help companies achieve their service goals. Tom, thanks for joining us today.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Chad. So those of you that have been with us for the part 1, I thank you for coming back for part 2. Today's agenda is really what we're looking at is, within customer service, we're going to look at the pieces that kind of extend the base customer service piece that we looked in the first session. So just for an overview of those who maybe didn't see the first session is that we really looked at the customer service module from case management and how to go in there and look at SLAs and entitlements and pretty much the core capabilities of the service module inside of Dynamics 365. Today, we're going to look at how we can extend that by using voice of the customers or what are behind the scenes are just surveys, self-service portals, and CafeX chat. So the chat capability that's built that sits inside of Dynamics 365. What I will say is voice of the customer and self-service portals are directly from Microsoft and they're part of your licenses. CafeX is an actual third-party chat provider that has partnered with Microsoft, but there is a separate license for that. But CafeX is currently the only integrated chat capabilities inside of Dynamics 365. All right. As you know me, I don't like to stay in PowerPoint too long, so I want to jump right into our demo. The one thing I do want to just let you know of too is that for the first session, it was really kind of a day in the life. We walked through how a tech or an agent could walk through and get a case and access the case and manage the case. Today is really going to be kind of feature capabilities and kind of are the possible, but I will be showing you some of the features and where to find them and how to look at them. So it'll be a little bit different, but I still think you'll get a lot of value out of today's session. All right, with that, let me switch over to CRM here. All right. So the first thing I'm going to actually do might be a little bit different than the agenda. I apologize for that, but I'm going to jump right into I'm going to jump right into the chat capabilities. So if you look at this, I'm in the customer service hub. This probably doesn't look any different than what we looked at before. So this is what comes by default with customer service, cases, case management, SLAs, everything like that. But what you're going to notice, it looks a little bit different. If you look over here to the far right, there's this little new window right here. And if I just expand it out, this is what Live Assist is. So this is going to be our surveys where we're going to be managing, our surveys, I keep saying that, where we manage our chats. So this is where we're going to be managing our chats inside of here. So how do we do this for a demo? It's kind of fun to do this because I kind of get to talk to myself a little bit and not feel like I'm completely crazy. But what I mean by that is that here, I'm going to drag in our website right here. So if you haven't seen this before, I highly recommend you guys go out to here. There's lots of great materials in here. So it's a shameless plug for Chad and his team. But on here for this demo, I have this nice little area here that says live chat. So again, this can sit on your website. It can sit on different pages in your website. This all just goes into your HTML. There's actually just copy and pasting of the HTML that goes in there. I actually have a little demo area that I can really have this little chat go on anybody's website, and don't worry, I can only see it myself, so Chad is not going out there seeing if this is sitting on his website right now. But what we can do here is now, as a user, I can just go out here and say I'm going to do a live chat. And if you notice kind of in the background right here, notice how this little one came up. So I'm just going to move this over here, and I'm going to show you what the experience is from an agent level now. And I'll keep switching back and forth to see what the end user sees and then what the agent sees. So let me scroll this back over and look at our item here. Now notice I have this chat item. What you didn't hear, because it's kind of, it's per the audio of the computer, is that ding came up. So now all of a sudden a ping came up saying, hey, I need to have a chat. So let's kind of talk about that. You can have different agents inside of here. You can have multiple different agents in here, number of agents, and then you can say who is active and when are they active. So, if someone's busy or someone's on break, they can take themselves out of active so that they're not getting, pinged for chats. You can also have different roles and different items. So what we said right here, if I scroll this back, it's just saying, hey, we're waiting for someone to engage with you, please wait. Now, again, we could have questions and answers here. We could say, please give me your product, and you can have different things like maybe if it's a certain product, only these 5 people would answer those chats, or maybe if it's a sales thing, it goes to your sales team for chat, compared to if it's a support item, maybe then it goes to support. So there's lots of flexibility that you can build into this through CafeX and their interface. But right now, this one, what I'm showing you is really out of the box. And then again, there's more configuration that can be done behind the scenes. But let's answer this chat. Let's talk to myself here. So, okay. So the first thing is that, there's a default item that comes out that says, thank you for choosing, what is that chat? So I can just say hello on here. And now notice, again, it's real time. So now I can start saying, having issue with printer. All right. So again, you can have these chats back and forth, but what does this all mean? So the first thing that I want to say is that, okay, first thing I want to do is that I want to ask who the person is. Now I know that who I'm working with, I'm getting down into it. So I'm going to ask their name. So I know that the name is, it's me. So I'm talking to myself, like I told you. So I'm just going to look up, Tom Lebaron inside of my CRM, and okay, I see that, I do have a contact in here. If I did not have a contact, I'm actually able to create a contact directly through CRM. Otherwise, if I hit this plus sign, I can create a contact right in here. But the cool part is that once I have this contact up, I can say, let's link this chat with this contact. So I'm just going to click on this little link. Now notice it says Tom Lebaron. And what you can see now is that if you're familiar with Dynamics 365, especially with the new user interface, you have this handy dandy timeline in here. Now in this timeline, all these chats that I have with this one, as soon as I link it to the contact, will be linked in here. So now I can see all the times that I have chatted with Tom, and I can actually go in there, and we'll look at that in a little bit, and see all the, see the history and how they chatted and what they chatted about. Okay, great. So now I'm in there, and we're talking about printers, and they have an issue with the printer. So I want to create a case on this actually now. Now that I know who this person is, I could look at their history if I wanted to inside a CRM. But now I'm just going to go in here, and there's some ways I can do some quick. There's multiple different ways for me to kind of do like quick commands. So if I just do a /n here, it's just saying I want to create a new entity. So notice here I can create a new case, I can create a new lead, I can create a new opportunity, anything that I want to, and I can control what I'm creating on here. But of course, I'm going to create a case since this is, again, a service call. So I'm going to create a new case. So now notice it automatically links it to myself. It puts it in as a live sys chat as the, as the origin or the channel that it came in on. And now I can start filling in different stuff. So again, issue with printer. All right, and so I can go in here and I can keep chatting. Now, one thing, once this sits in here for a long time, there's auto responses that I can do into here. So if there's so I can actually have some canned messages inside of here. So if I do /C, so here's some, man, you know what? Maybe I'm not speaking to them very well. So I'm just going to say, hey, you know what? Please watch your language in this chat. But no, we can have all these different messages inside of here, and you can create these canned messages that can be sent back. Then you can also have automation put in here. So let's say I'm working on something, or let's say something's not happening and I haven't talked with them for a while. I can ping them and say, hey, sorry for the delay. We'll be with you in a moment. So again, there's going to be automated messages that get sent back to these people. And notice again, on my chat sessions up here, and it's active, and I can see, what's going on here. So the cool thing is that once I come into here and I'm doing my case and everything's inside of here, so let me just say this. Let me just put this a demo so I can find this pretty easily, and I'm just going to save and close this case. Of course, I get an error that I didn't. Let me just see if I must not have saved something on here. But anyways, I can save my case on here. But there are some other lot cooler features with the chat capability that I want to show you on here. So if I want to share a file with them really easily, it's just very simple to share a file. If I want to do some audio or video calls on here, I can do that also. This actually just brings up, if it's almost like kind of like a GoToMeeting that CafeX has. So it just starts an automatic meeting. So if I say, you know what, start an audio call, notice that it's starting this audio call on here. And now if I go back onto here, it's saying, hey, do I want to start an audio session with them? Same thing with the video session, if I want to have a video chat. So again, nice features on there. But what I really like on here is what they call the co-browse. And so now I'm going to go here and I'm going to start a co-browse session. So I'm going to start a co-browse session on here. It actually opens up a new window inside of here. But now what this is that if I go back to my website, do I want to accept this co-browse? And I will say, yep, I will accept this. And now what's going to say is that everything that's going on in here, I am seeing on my screen. And what's really cool is if I'm going to say, hey, you know what? I want you guys to take a look at some of our resources. So I'm going to go here and click. This is where I want you to be clicking. Look at my screen now, my end user screen. If you notice, I had here, it went away here, but let me do some highlighting here. So I can say, yep, right here I want something right here. And, all this is now showing up directly on my screen as an end user. So that's a really cool co-browser capabilities that are inside of here. And it lets you, again, it lets you to, see what they're doing and hopefully help them walk through different things, especially if it's an IT issue or something like that. So that is the chat capabilities right here. So I'm going to end this chat now, actually. And so I ended this chat with it. So I'm going to go and look up that Tom Lebaron's item. So now if I look at this chat activity over here, come up here, open up the chat. And now what you're going to see is that everything that was logged in from a session standpoint, where they came from, what website did they, what area on my website did they come from, all the different information about, what's happening. They'll actually have the, if I had a survey on there, I'll be able to see all the different items about that, and then actually what the chat or what happened, during it. So everything from the chat transcript about, what was talked about inside of here. So all of that is logged back inside of Dynamics, and all of that can be now queried against. It can be reported against. I can see how long different items are. And then also in actually CafeX. CafeX has a really nice admin portal where you can go in there and saying how, look at how fast are we taking to responding to these chats? How often are we having these chats? How many of these chats are being converted? How many of them are getting created into leads or opportunities if it's on the sales side? How many of them are creating cases from there? So there is some analytics also on the CafeX side too that you can manage around for your agents and help coach on that. So that was quickly on, the chat capabilities inside of here. Now I want to switch over to the surveys that are actually built inside of Dynamics 365. So inside of Dynamics 365, there's something called Voice of the Customer. And now within version 9 or the new user interface, what they have done is that they've actually created an app for it. So if I go down here and drop down here and look at my apps, notice there's a Voice of the Customer on here. So I actually have that opened up in a separate tab. So now I'm in a brand new app. So now I'm in the Voice of the Customer app. So now we're kind of switching to, how can we do surveys and send surveys directly from CRM to my people? So inside of here, notice the entities or the features that are set up. So we have surveys, we have responses, we have images, we have themes, and then there's just some configurations and different things that we can look at inside of here. So I have a pretty generic survey that's set up inside of here. So let me show you what the survey looks like, and then we'll come back into here and just kind of look at how it gets configured. So here is the survey. So it is a URL link that gets sent out. Now, this survey, I'm going to say, is very generic, the one that I have on here, just to show you the capabilities inside of here. But this can be from a theme. I can put logos on here, and then there's lots of different types of questions, and we'll get into that once we get back into the configuration. So this survey was sent to me. Can I do it? Just asking when the dates of the service was. Great. Put comments on. Tom was awesome. And now I can submit this. All right, so this was a pretty simple survey. So let's go back into the surveys and kind of see how we configured that. So if I go back into these defaults, into this survey, this one I call default, you can have multiple different surveys here. I hope you see is that, I don't have to have just one survey. So the first thing that you're going to have is you're going to have kind of the general information around the survey. So, what is the survey about? Do I allow anonymous people to take my survey? Can I, when am I doing the survey? What does the survey look like? But what I wanted to show you here is that in invitation and actions is that there's kind of different ways that you can do different things with the survey. So the first one that was the anonymous link. That's what I went to. I just had this. So if you just want to send a URL, or if you have a link on your website or anything like that, it can just be a generic link that anyone that can submit to it, and then you can access it, then you can submit the survey results. Now you can't, with this anonymous one, you can't really say, hey, how many times does someone take a survey? I don't know what, you're not going to know what that is. But the nice part is that there's this email snippet. So now I can there's actually a button up here that just says, I can copy this snippet, and now I can put this into workflows. And this is where the power of the application comes into play. So I can take this survey, now I can send it automatically if a case gets closed. I can send it when an opportunity gets closed as one to see how that went, or maybe when I convert a lead and ask them how I worked with my team. It's different ways to automate to send this out. The other thing with the email snippet is now I can put parameters into there, meaning I can make stuff dynamic based on the record I'm on. So if I'm sending out a case, maybe I want to put the case number on there. Maybe I want to put the rep that was working on it. Maybe I want to put the topic or the subject on what the case was. All of those dynamic parameters can now get put into this email snippet. I can paste that into a workflow, and now I can automate it when I'm, on a case or wherever. Or I can just do it where maybe it's an on-demand workflow, but now you have that power to automatically send it out and make your surveys dynamic. So it is a really nice feature that, again, you can use it for multiple different purposes, maybe marketing, maybe sales, probably customer service is probably the default one you think of, but it is a robust survey engine inside of here. So these are just, again, I can look at I can talk about the results that I'm looking at, but now I'm going to go into the designer. So this is something, if you've seen this before, this designer has been retooled a little bit now from when, you used to do it with the older version of Dynamics. So now, notice in here here's that survey that I created, but it's really simple to just drag and drop different things into here. So if I want customer satisfaction, a CSAT survey get put into here, I can do that, and I can measure how their response is. A customer effort score, how much of their time did they have to, put in there, and then some other things. Would they recommend people to, would they recommend other customers other colleagues to use us and our support? So again, there's just lots of different items that you can do into here, and it's just a simple, drag and drop if I want to put something inside of here to do that. I can just click it, and now, again, I can just start editing what this looks like, and I can, drag it around here once it's inside of here. Now I can drag and drop this to different areas inside of my editor. So this is how I can, see what I'm looking at. I can do previews on here if I want to see what it looks like before I take it. So it just gives me a little preview on what the survey looks like. And now I can say, yep, that's good. And then I can go back to here and publish it and everything. So this is the voice of the customer. And then again, you can see what your survey responses are when I go into here. So it takes a little bit for the responses to come back. Like I said, it's kind of a service that Microsoft runs. So it's not immediately that you get your responses back. But once you get your responses back, you'll see them all listed on here and all of your responses. And you can do analytics against those and see, how you're doing and compare them. And, again, that's where your dashboarding and Power BI can come into play. All right, 2 of the 3 items down. So now the last thing that I want to show you is the customer self-service portal that comes inside of Dynamics 365. So let me switch over to that portal just a minute here. All right. So now, what I'm going to hold on here. I know you're not seeing anything. Let me get my screen here. Okay, perfect. So I'm in the portal right here. So notice again, this portal right here is the default portal. So again, same thing with themes, images, all that can be edited inside of here. The nice thing is that this portal sits inside of Dynamics. So I probably should have stated this at the beginning, and I apologize I didn't, but everything that you're seeing right here is a CRM online only for right now. So all these, except for CafeX, the chat, I believe they have now provided it for on-premise, or if not, they can make like special, we can talk directly to them and we can make special exceptions for on-premise ones, but all these other features are all online. So now, again, I can edit all this. All this data and everything is stored inside my database, but everything can be logged on or set up inside of here. So now, notice I have my knowledge base. I can have forums on here. So in my knowledge base, if I just want to start typing in on here, so I'm having an issue with my printer, I can start searching for everything that's around, the printer, and then how to support 3D printers. I can take a look at this. So again, I touched on the knowledge base capabilities in our last presentation. So if you want to see more about what the knowledge base looks like and everything like that, you can go back to session 1 on customer service, and then you'll be able to see the knowledge base inside of there. But the thing that I want to show is that, okay, so this is great, this is website, but I'm more concerned about the portal. I'm more concerned about, someone coming in and doing self-service. So I'm actually not going to be Tom today. I'm actually going to be Lisa. So I'm going to sign in as Lisa. Lisa works at a place called Seattle. So I'm going to go to My Support. And so notice, even though I signed in as Lisa, it still kept me where I'm at. But now when I go to My Support, now I'm actually seeing stuff for tickets. Now I'm actually seeing cases that have been there. And so now inside of here, I can look at existing cases that have been worked on, and I can set this up to show different views and different things. So I could say, you know what, all open cases that I have created. Otherwise, I can give permission to see all open cases that maybe my team or my, my company or my department has opened. So again, all that security and all those roles can be handled behind the scenes, and that can all be managed inside of Dynamics on how the user experience looks. And the cool part is that these views and these forms are actually the forms that you create during a normal form editor when you're looking at an entity. So let's just go in here and open up a case. So I'm going to open up a case here, and I'm just going to say, issue with printer. And okay, but the cool part is that as I'm typing this, you can actually have them go into the knowledge base or some forum pieces and display stuff. So maybe even when they're entering a case, you can help them kind of, self-service themselves so they're not creating all these cases. Now, again, maybe none of these topics meet their needs, so they're going to keep going, but you can give them that ability that if you have a really well built out knowledge base, just keep pushing them towards it so that they can start using it and hopefully help them, resolve their problem faster, and then also help you eliminate, some of the cases that you're getting that maybe, you don't need to be getting because there's some nice articles that you already written. So anyways, I have an issue with my printer right here. So a case type, I'm going to say this is a problem. My subject, again, this can be broken out. So I guess I don't think I have printer in here, but let's just say it's an issue with maintenance. And then I can say, here's my issue. And great. And now I can actually, if I want to download something on here, I can do that, but I'm going to submit this. So now I submitted this case over. What's happening right now is that this is actually creating the case directly inside of my CRM environment. And so now if you notice, I see what my number is. I could do a pop-up on here if I wanted to and say, hey, thank you for submitting your case. Here's your case number. And now notice, I have it's 1012. So now I'm going to pop back over here and just show you that I'm just going to refresh this. And let's do by created on. And so here's that 1012 that got created in my system. And again, if I open this up, you're going to notice that it looks exactly like everything else. My SLA is running on here, but now I can, just see what's happening inside of here. But the cool part is, let me go back into here, and I'm going to go on to here, and I'm just going to say, okay, I'm opening up an existing issue. I can change some of the stuff if I want to. But the nice thing is that here, I have this comment area here. So I'm going to go into here and say, here's a comment from the web, and I could attach a file if I want to, but I'm going to submit that comment inside of here. So notice, now this comment is on here. If I go back to the actual case, let me just refresh this timeline. Here's that comment. So again, it is real time from there. Now, from these comments, if I want to comment there, probably lots of times it's normal to have a workflow behind the scenes that now, ping, the person that owns this case to let them know that, hey, you have a comment from there, or if you're sharing documents or different things like that, you can do it all through the portal. So I know that we're coming up on time here, but I just want to, like I mentioned, quickly show you kind of the 3 add-on capabilities that were inside of Dynamics 365 that you can, that you are able to see inside of there now. And again, just kind of extend from your primary area. So with that, I'm actually going to turn this back to Chad, and I thank you for your time.
Thanks for that presentation and demo, Tom. It's awesome to see the platform come to life and see how people can really take advantage of what's possible to drive organizational and customer service success with this kind of technology. Now, if anyone has any last-minute questions or comments, you can put those in your go to webinar control panel, and we'll follow up with you after the webinar. And as we look to wrap things up today, I want to remind you that Ledgy Partners has a slew of resources on our website, including nearly 30 ebooks, over 50 infographics, countless on-demand webinars like this one soon will be, and also weekly tips on our blog that not only focus on Microsoft Dynamics 365, but also thought leadership topics like sales, marketing, and customer service. And you can find all those at ledgypartners.com. Now, if you enjoyed today's presentation, I encourage you to join us for these upcoming webinars that you'll see on your screen. Even if you can't attend those dates or times, I encourage you to sign up so you have no trouble receiving the on-demand versions after, so we send them out to the list. As for today's session, we'll be sending everyone a link to access it on demand shortly. You can share that within your professional networks and anyone in your company. If you have any questions, please, that you didn't get to ask during today, you can reach out to us via email, via social media, or give us a call, whatever works for you. And also, if you'd like a link to replay the part 1, just shoot me an email on that as well. With that said, it's a wrap for today, and we hope to see you all soon in these upcoming sessions. Have an awesome rest of your day and weekend. Thank you.